Hello, Star Wars fans. Today is going to be my breakdown and reaction to Ahsoka Episode 7, another fantastic episode in the series. Now, of course, there will be spoilers, so make sure you've seen the episode first, but assuming you have, let's dive right in and see what we can find out. Of course, all through the month of September, I am running a contest on the channel. All you have to do to enter is be a subscriber and leave a comment. The winner will be announced in early October, and the prize is one of the books above. Best of luck. All right, so we open with a payoff from an earlier episode tease. If you remember, Mon Mothma was basically saying, Hera, the Senate Oversight Committee is going to determine if your command should be permanently suspended. So, yeah, therefore this episode opens with Hera before the Senate, when they basically tell her, we simply cannot allow a general of the New Republic security forces to go around acting like this is still a rebellion. And while the New Republic is driving me crazy, if for the minute I put myself in their mindset, they just went through a massive rebellion, massive fight, massive loss of life. They just want things to be peaceful. They don't want to hear about the Empire coming back. They don't want to hear about remnants running around. But you can't stick your head in the sand, guys. You just can't. In fact, yeah, thank you, Hera. That's my expression too. I get it. You want peace. You want life to be easy. It's not. It's not. Deal with it. Just deal with it, okay? And then this guy. What is up with this guy, right? He says, I see. And you protected the New Republic by ignoring direct orders? It's easy to think to yourself, yep, this is an Imperial spy. He's hiding out in the New Republic, and he's going to turn on all of them. No. This is, I mentioned this in an earlier episode, but this is the dad of the main character from Star Wars Resistance. And if you remember, Resistance is the animated series that happens around the time of the sequel trilogy, so around 34 BBY. So that's why he's a little older, obviously, in the series. But he's not a traitor. I mean, he's annoying in the series. He doesn't like the Resistance. He doesn't want Kaz, his son, to join the Resistance. But still, I don't know where this character arc's going, because the guy is not evil. But I guess he's just really, really arrogant. And there is somebody who reveals to the New Republic that Leia is Vader's daughter, which gets her, basically she leaves. So maybe that's him. Maybe that's where this is all leading. But yeah, this dude, man. Ugh. So yeah, Hera shoots him right back and says, no, I protected the New Republic by ignoring you. Nice. But then, will someone shake this dude out of his trance, right? Because he's like Imperial Remnant. Such a sensational term. Yeah, it's sensational because it's true. That's the thing. So there you go. Then, hey, we get our timeline answer. Finally. Thank you, Carson Teva. Says, what about the conflict on Mandalore? So that firmly places the Ahsoka series after Mandalorian Season 3, because he's referring to, of course, Moff Gideon and the battle on Mandalore. But they shoot that down by saying Gideon was a warlord acting on his own. Look at Carson Teva. He's like, I can't even look at you. I will shoot laser beams out of my eyes and melt you if I look at you. I have to look down. He was not just a warlord acting on his own. But in fairness, they don't know about that Shadow Council. So there is that. But still, my goodness, people. My goodness. Then Hera nails it. I don't know what frightens me more, the possibility of what might happen or your unwillingness to see it. Yeah, baby. Shooting it. That's right. Shooting straight. Love it. Then we get our big cameo. Yes, C-3PO. Love it. He's here on behalf of Senator Leia Organa, which is cool because Princess Leia knew the rebels during the series because she actually worked with them. Big surprise, right? Remember, there was all the different rebel factions, of which one of them was the rebels team. Leia had hers, Mon Mothma had hers, but then they all started working together near the end, leading up to, of course, A New Hope and the original trilogy. So yeah, very cool. Of course, she would want to protect Hera. They go way back. So very cool. But oh my, you did not just go there. I mean, we thought he couldn't stoop any lower. And he says, the court cannot admit evidence of this kind from a mere droid. Dude, really? Plus, be careful, man, because look, do not make Chopper angry. You won't like him when he's angry, okay? He's a war criminal. I'm telling you, you do not know what that dude is capable of. That droid is trouble. So, yeah, you're lucky. You're still alive. So, oof. But yeah, then 3PO explains that basically Senator Ziono made the vote illegally because he did not include Senator Leia Organa, because she is the leader of the Defense Council. So he should not have made the vote without her. So, ouch. That pretty much shuts it down, baby. However, Mon Mothma is no fool. She knows that there's something's going on here. She says, I don't know what you and Leia are playing at, but I know she did not authorize your mission. But then she asks, how real is the threat of Thrawn's return? So, yeah, she's worried. She's no fool, which makes me happy because I love Mon Mothma. I was starting to get mad at her. But, yeah, that's cool. And Hera sums it up. We have to prepare for the worst and hope for the best. So, yeah, everybody's ready. They all know there's going to be problems if Thrawn returns. All right, so then we move over to Ahsoka, who gives us a nice Anakin cameo as she's playing a hologram that he made for her. And he says, in this war, you will face more than just droids, General Grievous, Asajj Ventress, even Count Dooku. So I love all the Clone War name drops, but for anyone that didn't watch the Clone Wars, you certainly recognized, Grievous and Dooku, but maybe not Asajj Ventress. Asajj Ventress is a character created just for Clone Wars and who did ultimately die, but may end up coming back again. The Night Sisters are good at reanimating things, and it'd be cool to see Asajj Ventress in live action. Now, of course, she's another one of those bone-thin characters. I don't know how they're going to make something. Well, no human could do this, right? So they're either going to have to make her have, gain some weight or totally CGI. But yeah, the obsession with making really, really thin characters in Clone Wars and Rebels is fascinating. Anyway, awesome character. Really hope we get to see Asajj Ventress. Then, hey, there may be more of Anakin down the road because we learn there's 20 or more of these recordings. And this happened to be his last one that he made. So very cool. Bring them on. Play them all. I'm fine. Then, man, never quote the odds, right? Because Ahsoka's saying, hey, the odds are pretty good. And Hu Yang's like, no, in fact, they're terrible. They're astronomically terrible. So basically a callback to 3PO quoting the odds to Han Solo in the original trilogy. So love it. Very cool. Very cool. And then the whales coming out of hyperspace. Oh, wow. Man, so neat. Look at that. Boom, boom. Very well done. Very, very well done. But this does not look good. Boy, this was really creepy. When they're inside the whale and they can see all those massive explosions and they want to get out there to figure out what is going on. And when they finally get outside of the whale, they realize, oh, that would be a lot of mines. Like as in a whole bunch of mines. And they're all like pummeling the poor whales. I really, really hope the whales have tough skin. Kind of like Drax in the holiday special where he's being shot by the cops with bullets and he's like, stop it, that tickles. I'm hoping these things tickle because they are getting pummeled by them. Look at that. Man, right in the face. Ouch. And that's enough for the whales to go, yeah, okay, I'm a head out. See ya. And boom, goodbye. And boom, they're all gone. So, there's no ride home because the whales have all left. So you're going to have to figure out how to get home, guys. You're going to find another way. And that would be the way right there, right? Love this visual. The Eye of Sion is so cool. Ahsoka's ship flying in, and of course Peridea there. So very, very cool. Then Thrawn sends out the attack squad. So they have so much arsenal to use. I love it. And Ahsoka heads into the whale carcass, not asteroids. Another kind of another callback, let's say, to Empire Strikes Back, where they flew through the asteroid field. But no, it's whale carcasses. So all right, very cool. But while all that's going on, Thrawn doesn't really even care. He's just watching every move, like a chessboard, like a 4D chessboard. Very, very cool. And then in comes Morgan Elsbeth to give him the inquisitorial database. So the Inquisitors were obviously keeping a database of all of the battles that occurred. And in fact, I've mentioned this in a previous video, but one of the Inquisitors that fought recently, Ahsoka Tano, in those Tales of the Jedi episodes, and of course when she killed it, it fizzled away, right? So it seems like this was another Night Witch Inquisitor. So yeah, they know a lot about Ahsoka. They have learned a lot about her over time. And that allows Thrawn to learn her master was General Anakin Skywalker. Remember I talked about in the previous video, Thrawn has met Anakin and has met Vader and very likely knows that Anakin is Vader. He figured it out on his own, never told anyone. So we're not real sure. Well, you can tell me in the comments if that's canon. Like officially we know but it sure seems like he knows. So we'll find out for certain if he brings it up. But yeah, he's going to learn a lot about Ahsoka by now knowing this information. So he knows she's very formidable. But I love this. He says, we're going to get to know our adversary so that no matter what direction she takes, we will always be one step ahead of her. He is so cool. He is so stinking cool. Master tactician at work, baby. So then the Noti on their little dune buggies, I guess, whatever those things are, beetle bugs, slug bug. I don't know, man. They know how to travel. That's all I know. They sure know how to travel. And Ezra gets his updates on the state of the galaxy. I love this. The Emperor died, and Sabine's like, well, that's what people say, because, of course, he's coming back, right? Somehow Palpatine returned. So that was kind of a cute little nod to the sequel trilogy. And then he says, okay, so there's the New Republic. Zeb's training recruits. We finally find out what he's doing, and Hera's commanding a fleet. And I appreciate the Zeb name drop, but come on, give us Zeb. But I'm getting it now. I see what's happening is Filoni doesn't want to give us the full reunion of all the rebels until either Ahsoka Season 2 or maybe the movie. All right, that's fine. That's fine. They're teasing us with Zeb. That's enough. I'm good. And then I love this. Ezra speaks for us all. When Sabine says, Ahsoka took me on as her apprentice. And he's like, she what? Why? Right? We're all going, yeah, yes, we all want to know why. Too funny. But yeah, I think it's going to be cool for Sabine to become a Mandalorian Jedi to some extent. She's not going to be a full Jedi, is my guess, but she's going to learn how to use the Force to help her with combat skills, and that's going to be sweet. That's going to be really sweet. So then, perhaps this ended up not being the best idea, but Ahsoka communes via the Force with Sabine, trying to reach out Sabine, and Sabine, it works, responds, Ahsoka. And then these people go, oh yeah, Night Witch time. We found you. I mean, that is so creepy. Yuck. Right? The Night Witches have found her and are able to locate and find her exact positioning. Boom, right there. To which Thrawn says, oh, cool. Well, we have the coordinates. Open fire. Just massively awesome. So cool. So cool. And then this thing, is there anything this thing can't do? Right? Starts opening fire and demolishing the whale carcasses. Sorry, whale bones. I hope those weren't valuable because they're being destroyed. So anyway, he doesn't really even care. He really just did this to flush, obviously, Ahsoka out. So she eventually gets out and he lets her go because he wants Ahsoka to find Sabine. So meanwhile, we have Baylan and Shin who've been hanging out, and they part ways though. Baylan basically says, your ambition drives you in one direction, my path, which we still don't know what that is. I can't wait to find out, but my path lies in another. Impatience for victory will guarantee defeat. So he's basically warning her, be careful, be careful. Although, ironically, he's the reason they get defeated. Because had he gone and either helped, gone with the battle, or stayed back and fought Ahsoka and stayed with her, they might have won. So we'll talk more about that. But ironically, Baylan, your advice is good, as always. Fantastic. By the way, R.I.P. Ray Stevenson. Oh, my goodness. What a dude, man. What a dude. But yeah, your advice is fantastic, but you are the reason that they lost. So, time to bring in the night troopers, right? So, Thrawn says, contact the fighter group and have them re-engage the opponent. And they all lickety-split, jump in their little transport vehicle, which I love seeing this in live action. You see them flying out of the ship there. These are from Rebels, but it's the first time we've seen them in live action. In fact, here's a shot on the left is from the Ahsoka episode, and on the right is from Rebels. It's just cool to see these vehicles finally make their way to live action. And it's a perfect job. Looks beautiful. This will be a Lego before long, I'm sure, if it isn't already. And then in come the Noti's enemies. So you've already got Thrawn and his night troopers, and you've got Baylan and Shin, but now these dudes, right? Whoever they are, that met up with Baylan, remember, at one point. And he said, the enemy of my enemy is our friend, basically. So, yeah, they've kind of allied against Ezra and Sabine and the Noti. And Sabine goes double blaster. Very sweet. Love that. And then, seriously, if these things pull an Ewok and end up destroying Thrawn, like they shoot a slingshot rock and it goes through the gas port on the Eye of Sion and blows it up or something, right? No, I don't mind them. They're cute. I enjoy them, but they cannot defeat Thrawn, darn it. And I get it. The slingshot is because we had a slingshot in Rebels, right? And Ezra had it. Okay, I see it. That's really cute. But this slingshot is not as cool as that slingshot. So, ugh. And then with the rocks, now you're throwing rocks? Stop. Just stop right now. Get inside your vehicle and just stay there. And there you go. Do that. Yes. Do your shell within a shell trick, which I think is really cool, and just let the real people fight. It's like, I was just getting so worried they were going to Ewok this battle. Ugh. And then time to circle the wagons, but what a shock. They have no idea how to make a circle. That is not a circle. There's a reason you do a circle is to protect everyone equally. The outliers there, they're going to get demolished. So what are you doing? Learn to make a circle. Anyway, then Ahsoka. Why can't Ahsoka ever stay inside the ship, right? Remember, she got outside the ship to fight in space, which was really cool, by the way. And then she got outside the ship to contact the Purrgil. And now she comes outside the ship, a perfectly good ship, slides down the ramp and jumps. I was like, oh my gosh, that's so scary. But, of course, it's Ahsoka. She has a perfect landing and is all ready for combat as she meets Baylan once again. So this was kind of cool to me, because if you remember the first time they met, she drew first, and Baylan kind of, sarcastically, condescendingly, if you will, said, how inevitable. And then he draws his lightsaber. This time, he draws first, because he's on a time schedule. And while he doesn't mind seeing Ahsoka again, he does not have time for her. I cannot allow you to interfere. And boom, they strike a pose. Very, very cool. Very cool. So they're so evenly matched. You kind of knew neither one was going to win, but so much fun to see them fight. On the other hand, time for a little vice fording. Wow. Yeah, vice fording. Yeah, that's really cool. Force fighting by Ezra. So Ezra says, the Force is my ally. That's all I need. He turns down the lightsaber. He turns down the blaster and says, I'm going to use the Force. And it was pretty cool. He did some really nice, looks like kung fu judo moves, only using the Force. It's hurling people across the battlefield. But you have to wonder, have they finally explained then this terrible mistake in Return of the Jedi where Luke doesn't even come close to connecting with this dude when he kicks at him, and yet he goes flying backwards. Supposedly Mark Hamill has said that he forced kicked him, jokingly, but still, watch it if you haven't seen this clip. He doesn't even come close. So hey, maybe we finally are seeing Force fighting in action, right? Too funny, too funny. And then this, oh my, this could have gone poorly. Shin comes up behind him and woof, just skims the top of his hair, just the top. But luckily doesn't mess up those beautiful locks. I would have been so mad. Come on now. Guy's got perfect hair. Don't be messing with it. As he says, close, close. Then this is cool, right? I mean, he's kind of pulling a total Force move of just literally pushing the lightsaber back and even disrupting its beam. That is really, really cool. Kylo Ren did some similar things like that. So cool. And then I will never grow tired of Mandalorian weapons. Notice she's got the lightsaber in one hand and the flamethrower in the other. Goodness, so cool. Love it, love it, love it. Mandalorian weapons rock. Then back to Baylan and Ahsoka. And like I said, they're very evenly matched. She says, you can't defeat me. She's like, I don't need to defeat you because I got Hu Yang. And he's going to rain fire on you, baby. And so while Hu Yang is distracting Baylan, Ahsoka is able to get away. And that's really the key. Had Baylan continued to fight Ahsoka, or chased after her at least, then maybe Thrawn would have won. But instead, Baylan's like, nope, I got other stuff to do, and lets her go. So very interesting. I never thought it'd be this cool to sit here and watch someone just survey the battlefield like a general, but oh my goodness, so cool. Just watching how Thrawn was thinking all these steps ahead, planning all this out, and then suddenly realizes, whoa, where's Baylan's skull? If there was ever a time for him to lose his temper, this would have been it right now, because he had this planned out perfectly, and Baylan hoses him. So, oof, right? But nonetheless, it's still looking bad for Ezra and Sabine. Notice all the troops coming in, Shin standing there with the saber. I mean, this would have been tough. Maybe Ezra and Sabine would have won, but my guess is it would not have ended well. They're all in, ready to go. And we're about to find out, actually, how it works with these night troopers. Are they reanimated spirits, or are they people inside, right? But this cracks me up too. The Howler. Come on. Remember, this is the same Howler from the last episode where Sabine was so mad at it and called it chicken because it left during the middle of the fight. Well, now it's actually hiding inside with the Noti and whining. Wow. Chicken. Chicken, chicken, chicken. Anyway, so Ezra tries to calm everything down. He cracks me up. We could talk. Don't you want to take us prisoners? Prisoners. I love it. I love it. But just before things turn really, really bad, in comes Ahsoka, who again wouldn't have been there if not for Baylan. And yeah, now the battle is ready. Now the battle is going on because, Hu Yang sums it up perfectly. Well, they're back together. I just hope I survive long enough to see the outcome. But yeah, the night troopers, it turns out, do not turn to smoke because I'm pretty sure some of these are dead. I mean, she sabers that one pretty good. So maybe these are not reanimated corpses. Or maybe some of them are, but not all of them. Interesting. We do know, though, they know how to hit something because they actually hit Sabine. In fact, they hit her in the back and then they hit her in the arm. Now, the one problem is, while they actually can hit something, they keep hitting her in the armor. You got to shoot where the armor isn't, guys. So you may as well miss if you're only going to shoot her in the armor. But in fact, she needs more armor, poor thing. Anyway, though, nice to see a stormtrooper that can actually hit something. So very cool. And then, man, if I had one of these, I would use it all the time. You can see her shooting out of her wrist. See the little doober shooting forward there, and boom, boom. Love it. I would just fire that off in the backyard randomly. Wake all the neighbors up in the middle of the night. But here's the key. Thrawn still wins the battle because at the end of the day, all he cares about is they were distracted so that he was able to finish the cargo transfer. At least it's almost complete. But yeah, pretty much he's ready to go. And he says it beautifully. Ahsoka Tano has lost the one thing she could not afford to lose today. Time. Love it. So even though Baylan messed him up, he still won in the end. Then Shin actually has a chance to do what many people have been theorizing, that she might turn and join the team. Because basically everyone deserted her. You know, Baylan said, hey, you're on your own. I got to go do something else. And now the night troopers all bolted on their ship, didn't even give her a chance to get on. It's just pretty much her standing there. I would feel pretty ticked right now if I were her. So when Ahsoka offers, I can help you, it sure looked like she was going to turn and help. But nope, she took off. She took off for now. But my guess is she will join with Ahsoka and Ezra and Sabine. So let me know what you think in the comments. Do you think she's going to end up joining them? I really think so. And then it's so nice to finally see Ahsoka happy. I mean, she's been through so much. She has not had much to be happy about. But she's so glad to see Sabine again. And, of course, she's so glad to see Ezra. So love that. That is really, really cool. And then Ezra says, I think I might be going home after all. And you're still thinking to yourself, man, boy, there's going to be some difficult discussions coming. The next episode, for sure, it's going to be rough. So it does raise the question, though. Number one, will they get home? And my guess is yes. I could be wrong, but I just don't think they're going to do a swap and say, oh, Thrawn gets back, and now it's Ezra and Sabine and Ahsoka that are trapped on the other side. It could be. But my guess is they do get home. But the question is, how? Will they contact a Purgle to come back? Will they use the world between worlds? Or maybe, just maybe, will they pull a Han Solo Millennium Falcon trick and hide out on the side of the Eye of Sion? Because you remember that trick from the original trilogy. I kind of wonder if that's what they'll do. It's going to be hard to pull it off, though, because they don't have, well, maybe they have cloaking devices, but I don't think so. They haven't talked about it if they do. So it's still my guess as to how they might try to do it. But let me know what you think. How are they going to get home, or will they get home? And then also, what on earth is Baylan searching for? I mean, they have really been keeping us waiting for this answer. I hope we get it in episode 8. I will be very disappointed if this carries over. I think they need to resolve this. So please, Filoni, give it to us in episode 8. And one thing that some theorists have been saying, which I think is really fascinating, some theories on Reddit, is that this temple, which was in an earlier episode, notice all those markings there. Those are the same markings that we saw in the Jedi, Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order. Sorry, I couldn't remember what it was. Fallen Order, which is the Cal Kestis video game. So I admit I'm not a gamer. I have nothing against it. I just haven't played those games. But What's so interesting about the way Star Wars incorporates the games is there's a story mode. So basically, it's your character's forced to follow the story, and that's what's canon. DC's looking to do that. James Gunn is going to do that. But Marvel, for some reason, doesn't want to do that. So that's interesting. I don't know why Feige doesn't, but Star Wars does. So the 2 games, and the third one's on the way, with the character Cal Kestis, are canon. Well, notice those hieroglyphics are the same, and they reveal the Zepho, which are a race, very mysterious race, ancient race, that learned the Force, and many of them the dark side, and many of them very powerful. And so it's possible, and they're associated with Dathomir and the Night Sisters. So yeah, there may be a way that Baylan is going to tap into them. The thing is, and here's what they look like. Sorry, pretty freaky, right? The thing is, I would love it if that's what they do. If Filoni brings in the Zepho into, I don't want to say into canon, because they're already canon. The video game is canon. But to bring it into live action, I just don't know if they're going to go there, because Filoni has been avoiding bringing in topics from, deep cuts, and this is a very deep cut. The game is not a deep cut. The game is incredibly popular and very cool, but to bring in the Zepho is pretty deep cut. So let me know what you think. Do you think that is what Baylan is searching for? Is he searching for the world between worlds? Is he searching for something else altogether? But yeah, Jedi Fallen Order and Jedi Survivor are 2 games. In fact, let's talk about that. So I've been asked to put them on the timeline forever. People have said, please put them on the timeline. And I don't know why, I just hadn't done it yet. But yeah, Jedi Fallen Order happens in 14 BBY, and Jedi Survivor happens in 9 BBY, and then the third game, which obviously isn't released yet, and we don't know when that's going to happen, will be sometime even closer. So Cal Kestis is alive during present-day Mandalorian time frame. So, we may actually see a live-action version of this character. It's the same character in both of those games, and he'll be in the third game. So you can even search out on the web, out YouTube, rather, I should say, and you can see people doing the story mode, just kind of walking through it. So if you're interested in knowing what the story is, it's almost like a movie. You're watching a movie, although it's a video game. Very cool. And then one other quick thing down in the far right corner, that last episode of Tales of the Jedi, I've had some people question the 5 BBY portion, and I agree. I initially thought it was right before Rebels started, but I think the end of the episode is more like 12 BBY. I do believe there's some time between the beginning of the episode and the end, but nonetheless, if you do catch that episode, I wanted to get that at least a little better. We don't know what the exact timing is. Even the timeline book doesn't tell us, the Star Wars timeline book, but my guess is it's around 12 BBY, but let me know what you think. Of course, here's the entire timeline. We now know that Mandalorian Season 3 is before Ahsoka, but we don't know when Mandalorian Season 3 happens. So maybe one day they're going to tell us 11 ABY, 12 ABY? I don't know. We'll find out. But anyway, that's the timeline so far. Don't forget, we do have the September contest. All you have to do is be a subscriber and leave a comment, and you'll have a chance at winning one of these 4 books. And, of course, we'd love to have you join the Discord. Here we are talking about this latest episode, about whether they might bring Leia back, whether they'll do a better job of CGI than they did in Rogue One, which wasn't terrible, but a little soulless, as Tanoki says. So, yeah, I'd love to have you join the Discord. There'll be a pinned comment that you can click on and come be part of the conversation. And if you don't mind, like this video, subscribe if you haven't already. You can check out more content, and we will all eagerly await Ahsoka Episode 8.